Maybe I destroyed the game. Or maybe you're just making excuses.
Michael Jordan is known as the greatest of all time, and his achievements and accomplishments echo in eternity, and he won't be forgotten in sports history.
In an interview with Mike Missinelli, a Philadelphia radio reporter, he described Jordan as this: dominating. He brought the complete game. He could score whenever he wanted, and he was the greatest player to ever play the game. And these are hardly any of the words you could use to describe the true greatness of number 23.
Michael Jordan had many inspirational quotes throughout his life. Quotes like this are exactly what people feed off of to gain motivation. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed.
On February 16, 1963, in Brooklyn, New York, a true legend was brought into life. He went by the name of Michael Jordan. He grew up in North Carolina, and right from the beginning, he had a competitive demeanor and unspeakable athletic ability. His father James always noted on his talents. What he does have is a competition problem. He was born with that. The person he tries to outdo most of the time is himself.
Michael had a brother named James. Michael and his brother James were always competing with each other. They were both gifted basketball players, and they brought out the best out of each other. In fact, some sports analysts say that if James was taller, he would have gotten to the NBA alongside of Michael. Jordan eventually enrolled in the University of North Carolina in 1981, but that did not occur without many difficulties that he overcame in high school. In his sophomore year of high school, he was cut from the varsity basketball team. This clearly did not slow him down at all. In just 2 years, his true abilities and how he overcame adversity caught the attention of the Tar Heels. In 1982, his college team won a national championship, and he sank the game-winning shot.
They've got to look to get it in there, and you can't with a shot blocker like Ewing take so much time.
Gordy to Black. The tie, 18. Shot, Jordan!
In the next 2 years, Michael Jordan was singled out as the college player of the year.
He first made his mark in professional level basketball when he participated in the 1984 Olympics. The United States won gold that year in front of the home Los Angeles crowd. Jordan would again help the U.S. win gold in 1992. That was just one of his many accomplishments playing basketball at a high level.
In Jordan's second year, he averaged 28.2 points a game. These efforts handed him the Rookie of the Year trophy and allowed him to participate in the NBA All-Star Game. During the 1986 and 1987 season, Michael Jordan became the first player since Wilt Chamberlain to score 3,000 points in a season. During the following campaign, Jordan would win his first of 5 MVP awards. He would achieve this honor in 1989, 1991, 1992, 1996, and 1998.
Because of Michael Jordan's ability on the court and work ethic off of it, the Chicago Bulls became a force to be reckoned with during the 80s and 90s. In 1990, Michael Jordan's team would defeat the legendary Los Angeles Lakers in the NBA Finals. Over the course of his career, Jordan would go on to win 6 NBA titles with the Chicago Bulls. Clearly, he is a great athlete, and he's obviously a hardworking person, but how has he left a legacy on society today?
In an interview with Kent McDill, the author of If These Walls Could Talk, the story of number 23, he said, "There will be players that are more skilled than Michael Jordan, but he did everything that it took to avoid losing. That set him apart from every player in history."
And that was true. Michael Jordan was the biggest winner there was. This allowed him to leave a huge legacy on the city of Chicago, Illinois. Instead of leaving the city that turned him into a star, Michael Jordan chose to re-sign with the Bulls after his contract expired. He turned the Windy City into a city of champions. Today, Chicago is home to some of the best high school teams around the nation. The city gave the 3rd most amount of NBA players out of any city in the U.S. This partly has to do with Michael Jordan's legacy with the Bulls.
Players from the city Michael Jordan played in include Derrick Rose, Anthony Davis, and Dwayne Wade. Most of these players grew up watching Michael Jordan, and this inspired them to pursue their dreams in the sport of basketball. It is obvious that Michael Jordan had a profound impact on the game of basketball in the city of Chicago.
Aside from actually playing basketball, Michael Jordan started the Jordan clothing line and shoe line of apparel. Millions of people around the world wear these shoes, and he helped the major company Nike bring billions of dollars in profit. Without the legacy of Jordan, Nike would not be as prosperous as it is today.
In order to fully understand just how big the Jordan Shoe Company is, I will give you some very charismatic statistics of the money they make. Jordan only owns 6 out of 1,000 of Nike, but he still made $500 million total from shoes. That means Nike increased their profits by billions of dollars over the years by creating Jordan shoes. In 2012, Jordan dominated the basketball shoe market. 71% of basketball shoes sold were Jordans. Today, new Jordans are still being released, and students all over our school and schools around the world wear them every single day.
Children all over the United States wear these nice shoes because they see Jordan as a role model. Wearing the shoes are a way for people to imagine themselves as the greatest basketball player of all time. Number 23 hasn't played in the last 13 years, but his legacy is still being felt through his shoe company today. It's clear that Jordan's legacy had a profound impact on Nike and children all over the world.
Aside from the game of basketball, Michael Jordan gives back to his community in which raised him. He was a part of many charities that thrived off of his great success financially. He's a big part of the UNCF, Special Olympics, and the Boys and Girls Club of America. As you can tell, he leaves an enormous impact on society, as he is in many generous charitable events that give back. All in all, Jordan left a legacy in everything he did, even if it was donating to make the world a better place.
Up a bunch of my friends and some people that I never met and get them to have the same focus in terms of giving back to the Make-A-Wish. It's been a passion of mine for years, and this whole golf tournament is a good way, a good vehicle that we can give back.
One of the most famous Michael Jordan moments is his flu game. In the 1997 NBA Finals against the Utah Jazz, Jordan was experiencing flu-like symptoms. Despite an otherwise great Utah Jazz team with Karl Malone and John Stockton, Jordan overcame adversity and led the Bulls to victory. He put up an impressive performance, scoring 38 points, bringing a 90-87 Bulls victory to the table. You could tell he was struggling, collapsing every time he sat on the bench. His fatigue set in greatly.
Some way, somehow, he played through it. He had a drive like no one else did. This game put him in horrible condition. He had no strength, endurance, or speed for this game, but he did it, which could be one of the reasons why he's considered the greatest to ever play. This game inspired kids, fans, and players everywhere to push themselves when facing hardships. People like this look at the game as a reason to play and give 100% everything they do.
That was the hardest thing I've ever done, said Jordan after the game.
When we asked Mike Missanelli in our interview about what kind of impact or legacy do you think Michael Jordan has left on basketball to this day, Mike Missanelli said, "Michael Jordan will forever be the standard to which players measure themselves and fans measure players."
Whenever a great player is brought about in the NBA, Michael Jordan is constantly brought up and compared to that single player.
This truly reveals the impact and legacy Michael Jordan left on the sport of basketball to this day and how it echoes in eternity.
It also proved that Jordan will forever be known as one of the greatest athletes of all time. He's not only the benchmark for all NBA greats, but he also could have played professional baseball for the Chicago White Sox. In fact, Jordan dressed up for one game, and it is still remembered very strongly today. It is obvious that Jordan left a legacy on every single thing that he touched, no matter if it was a sports equipment or leaving a mark on society. Jordan once said, "If you're trying to achieve, there will be roadblocks. I've had them. Everybody has had them. But obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it."
It is obvious that Michael Jordan will forever be known as a legend, and that his legacy was left after everything that he did. He had an impact on the city of Chicago, on the game of basketball, and he had a profound impact on his community. Michael Jordan is known as the greatest of all time. His achievements and accomplishments echo in eternity, and he won't be forgotten in sports history.
Some people want it to happen. Some wish it would happen. Others make it happen.
I was living in a devil town. I didn't know it was a devil town. Oh Lord, it really brings me down about the devil town. All my friends were vampires. Didn't